up, everybody? Welcome back to Grid Penalty, the Formula One podcast for absolutely everybody. I'm Brent Gill. With me, as always, is Jeff Tice. Fun week of news today. We're talking about the Ford-Red Bull collaboration in 2026. We're going to go through some history of Red Bull and Ford in Formula One. We're going to talk about the car launches from Haas and Red Bull. And, of course, we got a Mazzy coming up for this week. But, as always, up first, we're going to get what? Cheesed up and plugged up. Let's get. That's so bad. I can't believe I said that. Let's get plugged. Jeff, tell us.
Let's get plugged up.
What
Brent,
do you got,
it is
baby
so good
boy?
To see you. I'm so excited.
You're in
to
my
be here.
state.
I'm in here. I'm chilling in Southern California. It is 60 degrees. Everyone has hoodies on. They're acting like it's a snowstorm. It is the greatest. I love it so much. I'm sweating.
It's hoodie weather out here. We love it.
Perfect, dude. I love it. And so, I'm in San Diego. It's the best. I'm in a hotel room just chilling. But yeah, you can find me everywhere in San Diego this weekend. If you're just on the street, you can yell at me. That's fine. I'll be at the
Just find the tallest guy there.
Yeah, truly. If you can find me at the Padres Fan Fest going on right now outside my window. People just randomly yelling at Petco Park. Very fun. But you can also find me at GeoffReytice across all social media. I have one big show coming up. I have a bunch of shows, but this is the one show you should come to. Please, if you are in the Denver area, if you are not, fly in. Come in from wherever. But March 9th, Thursday night, March 9th, Downtown Comedy Works. I will be making my headline debut there. So swing through. If you follow me and or just know my social media, you can DM me for a special promo code. But other than that, come to that show. And also, if you are in San Diego right now and you're at a taco spot and you're like, damn, this is good, but you know what is better than these tacos? Laughing and comedy and enjoying my life. What you're going to want to do is destroy those tacos as fast as possible. Then you're going to hop on an aircraft carrier. You're going to get on a U.S. naval aircraft carrier. And you're going to just take that through some tributaries and some canals and some rivers that definitely don't connect all the way to Denver, Colorado. And you're going to park that at the Jeffco Municipal Airport. And so they can, take back their massive military infrastructure that is San Diego. And then you're going to hop on a scooter and you're going to cruise down Highway 36 to 29th and Valmont.
Which is super safe, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We do condone that.
Yeah, this is
the Department of Transportation does allow this.
Yes, you're fine. Anything goes. And, maybe adopt a highway with another dispensary on the way down. Like all the highways are adopted.
Shout out to Terrapin.
Sponsor of the show. And then you're going to go to 29th and Valmont. Obviously, you're going to scoot yourself right around Vacuums R Us and the Coyote Cleaners and Cosmos Pizza. And you're going to just hop into the Rayback Collective at 7 p.m. every single Sunday for the Boulder Comedy Show, the greatest show on the planet. Bring an aircraft carrier. It's going to be fun. So, yeah, swing on by every single Sunday.
There's plenty of parking for the aircraft carrier.
There truly is.
Yeah.
And so just park it at Cosmos. You're fine. It's all good. Brent, where can the good people find you?
Well, first off, they can find me on March 9th with Jeff Tice.
You're the best.
I'm flying out there. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
You're the best.
Headlining debut, as we said last week, is a huge accomplishment at our home club there. So you can find me there with Jeff. You can also find me this coming weekend doing some Valentine's Day shows in Brush, Colorado. Yes. Let me brush off my shoulder. We're going to be... Don't laugh. We're going to be at the Course Cafe and Lounge in Pete's Park, or at Pete's Park. And then we're good, which I should probably put on my website now that I've thought about this every time I've done this in the past 3 weeks. Yeah. And I'm like, I should probably put those dates on my calendar, considering I asked him for the date information and he gave it to me. And he's like, did you get it? I'm like, yeah.
I sure did.
Certainly not on the fucking website though. But so you can find me there. You can also find me at Comedy Works for the Valentine's Day show. I believe it's me and two other comics doing long sets. And then Friday, February 17th, I'll still be in Denver at High Note Comedy at the Skylark Lounge, 140 South Broadway, with our headliner, Katrina Davis.
Nice.
Excited about that. And then a couple quick shout-outs as well. Our producer,
Boom.
Kat Orlean. We love her. to death. You can follow her at KO Recording. She's got some cool stuff there. She's got some clips of her singing. She's got some clips of her restoring these like crazy like $20,000 record players.
Awesome.
It's really fun over there.
Yeah.
And her band is going to be playing. Her band's name is the Moonshine Daredevils.
The Mountain Dew Stuntmen. Yep.
And they're going to be in Monrovia at the Poorhouse on Friday, February 24th at 9 p.m.
Nice.
Want to give her a shout out to that. Make sure you go to that if you're in California.
Yes.
Shout out to our video editor, Jan at Points Into Williams on Instagram. Make sure you give her a follow. And if you haven't put this together, we have a YouTube channel now where we're putting up full episodes. So if you ever want to see what this looks like, me and my beautiful face and Jeff with his chubby round Ninja Turtle head. Oh, wait, I got us confused.
If you ever want to see what hotel rooms that we're in on the road.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Housekeeping.
You want to see what my diploma looks like? I got one. It's real. Not even Photoshop. Didn't even need Jeff to make that. So check us out on YouTube. We are putting up full episodes there as well as clips. And, of course, please follow us on Instagram at Grid Penalty F1. Yes. We're putting up clips there. And by we, I mean Jan.
Shout out Jan.
So thank you for doing that.
Kat.
We're very happy with those clips.
You guys rule.
And I think that's it for announcements.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
Okay.
You're
in San Diego.
Dude, I'm out
we talked
here
about this.
just soaking up the sun, just drinking. I spent so much time at the pool bar yesterday, just like actually getting work done. I was just, Friday afternoon wrapping up work, and I'm at the bar. I had a drink, and like every single person that rolls through is like, they're from somewhere else in the country, but at the same time, they are home. This is the most, like, everyone is so San Diego here. Like, board shorts, flip flops, quarter zip, golf, quarter zip, and then salt and pepper hair. They made their money in tech. They just moved down here. They're just like, it's almost like they're just powering off their life. Like, it's just like, they just came here to chill.
Oh, we're going to put this into low power mode.
Yeah, that's it. It's like battery save mode. That's exactly what they're doing. And it's awesome because it makes the shows really fun. People are just having a good time. Sometimes they party a little too hard, but we're also in the gas lamp district, so it is a little crazy. But everyone here is just having a good time, dude. The vibes are just like, just shaka, bro. It's all good. And
San Diego rules. I love going down
really
there.
Fun.
It's not a bad drive. It's like anywhere between like an hour and 40 minutes and 6 hours to get there from my house, just kind of depending on the day and time you leave.
Fine.
Like you could drive to San Diego or fly to Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's kind of about the same time. But what I do love about it though is you nailed it. It is just like the whole city. It's like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah, we're just chilling.
Like everything's cohesive and it's like, this you guys are kind of nerds.
The whole city is on happy hour. Like it just feels like you're just chilling. Like today it's I guess the Padres are doing a big fan fest event, and I'm right next to like Petco Park, and everyone's just out. It's like Saturday morning, getting brunch, drinking. We saw like a dude spilling beers on the sidewalk at like 10 a.m. And it's just, that's the vibe. It's not spring break, but it just feels like spring break just forever.
All the time.
Perpetually.
It's 365 spring break in San Diego.
And it is because
I got friends that are from there too, and they're all like, oh, you are so San Diego.
Yeah.
And it's not the Padres. It's the Pads.
The Pads.
Let's go Pads.
Go Pads.
So
it rules.
I tried to get Dre's going, but no one really liked that.
No one likes that. But yeah, the shows have been good. Like I'm at the American Comedy Company. That club rules, and so I'm excited to come back there. Shows have been good. It's been fun. We're pumped. The Sklar's are the best. Like those dudes rule.
Yeah,
I'm out opening for them.
And their crowds.
I mean, dude, it's so fun to walk around town with them, especially with this like big sports event going on, and they have so many great sports fans. Yeah. And so walking just down through Petco Park, we just hear Brandy, Jay, Sklar, what up, Sklars? What up, bros? What up, bros? And like everyone loves them. It's just a fun time. So we're having a good weekend. I look like their security. I look like I'm out here just.
You're a foot taller than them both.
I'm just like pushing people away, like get away. But no, it's good.
That's so funny, man.
Really fun.
It's like They do the nosebleeds, which is what you were doing with them.
Yep, on UFC Fight
right?
Pass. Yep.
On UFC Fight Pass, and then they also had cheap seats,
Yep.
which is another sports show that they ran. I
Yep.
mean, they're like entrenched in the sports world.
And
It's
they-
really
yeah,
cool.
that was on ESPN Classic for years, and then they also co-host for Jim Rome, so they're on like the radio a bunch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they step in for Jim Rome and take over like sports talk. They do a ton of sports talk. So
Man, you know who they should step in for? Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
Someone, please close that man's mouth. My God.
Dude, he's rough. Man. It's the worst.
Let me tell you something that
Hey, man.
that you don't want to hear.
If I yell loud enough, maybe people will think I'm right. Like, okay, all right, dude. I guess. Man.
Oh, Stephen A. Smith. What a
So,
piece
yeah.
of trash.
But things are
well,
good.
that's cool.
Yeah, how are you doing? How's your life? How's your new car? You're doing so much.
Well,
You're busy.
I have been busy. We'll start with the car. I broke it again. I broke it.
No.
I'm so fucking dude.
Come
I'm
on.
so mad. I mean, I'm not really mad. You know, it's funny. So BK Sherrod is here.
Yep.
BK has how do I eloquently put this? Taken over for Jeff in Boulder.
Yes, very much
and, so. No, I
He's
don't.
very
mean that.
much
Jeff
doesn't
will
have
always,
a child, and yes.
He will always be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but Jeff, or excuse me, but BK, huge friend of the Boulder Comedy Show, is out here doing some shows in LA, and went out there to meet him at my old intern show in Venice, called Abbott Kidding. It's a great show, and he gets in the car with me. This is so funny. You can tell he's not a car guy because he gets in the car, and I'm so excited. I got my new car, just spent all this money getting it fixed and all this stuff. And he goes, so like, have you done much like aftermarket stuff to this car?
That's hilarious.
And I look at him and I go, are you being facetious? And he goes, oh, well, yeah. I mean,
Sure.
like 50-50.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, BK, do you hear the car? And he goes, yeah, it sounds louder than usual. I'm like, BK, it's got a Corvette motor in it, and it's a BMW, dog. He goes, oh,
Cool.
And then I go to show, because I didn't like his response. I was like, let me show you what I like a little bit of this car. So I'm in first gear, and I maybe like 1,500 RPM. And now I have so much torque in this car. I step on it, like hard step on it, and it fucking flies down the road. And then I just hear pop, and we feel a pop.
No.
And then I'm like, I don't know if that was good. And BK looks at me, didn't say anything, as you probably wouldn't have either. Like, you feel it, but you're like, I don't know how this shit works.
Yeah.
I don't know. And
I don't know what
and then
aftermarket means, you know? I don't
right?
know.
And then I am like accelerating, and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm getting any acceleration here. And then I change gears. I'm like,
Get on the radio, tell them you're losing power, you know?
James, it's Faltry.
James.
I'm losing power. And then I realize I have no power. Like I can rev, I can do all these things. The clutch is doing what it's supposed to do. The transmission's going into gear.
It is driving. Like
It's coasting.
Oh.
Because I was going so fast in first.
That's very funny.
And so then I'm like trying to shift and like get power again. And I'm like, and I hear the revs going up, but the car's not moving.
Oh, got it.
And I'm like, well, this isn't good. So then I kind of come to a stop and I put it in gear, and I'm like, oh no, this car is not moving. And so then I was able to throw it in reverse and like
Drive in reverse the whole way there.
barely limp into a parking spot in reverse.
Ooh.
And I'm like, I think I just broke my transmission. The one I just
The brand new one.
put in there.
Yeah.
And
Oh, no.
and BK feels so bad. He's like, oh my God, I'm like, whatever. I mean, it is. I mean, dude, it's a ridiculous car.
Yeah. Yeah.
You things are gonna break, dog.
Yeah.
I'm just bummed. Here's what happened. We're pretty sure, and after this recording, I'm gonna go downstairs and like verify this because I gotta jack it up. I think I blew out my differential.
Oh.
My rear differential.
Yeah.
Because now that I have this new transmission, there's so much power that's actually now getting to the drive shaft, which is going to the rear differential, that in first gear, there's so much torque. I just blew the differential.
It's just way too much. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I got my mechanics on the phone at 11:30 their time, midnight their time. Like, I text them and they call me and they're like, all right, so what happens when you do this? And we're like walking through it. And they're like, I think you blew your differential.
Damn.
And I'm like, awesome.
And how much does that cost?
Yeah, I can't wait to fucking spend more money on this. And so because I'm trying to sell the car too, because I'm building a new race car. And so it might be, $300 to $600 for the part. And I go, is this something I can do? Like swap out? And they're like, I think you could do it. Like we could hop on a Zoom or a FaceTime call and we could walk you through it. I'm like, we're going to make a video of this because
absolutely.
I'm going to fail so hard trying to take instructions from them through Zoom under a car, or I'm just gonna be like, all right, so this one or this one,
sorry,
it's gonna be.
You're on mute. Yeah.
It's gonna be a fucking stop masturbating. We're not. Your camera's still on.
Put your pants on. Not that type of oil change. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a problem, but it's all right. It is what it is. It is what it is.
That's great.
I'm lucky I have two cars, so that's not my only car. I mean, here.
That's a good attitude. That's a good attitude. Yeah. How was the show? Did you make it to the show?
I did make it to the show. It was afterwards. The show was great. BK did well. Ellen was great. And it's funny. Like, I kind of went there to make sure because, like, Ellen didn't respond. Ellen learned a lot from me. And it's funny because when I see her, like, managing her show and run, like, it's like, it reminds me so much of me at the beer garden. It's insane.
Yeah.
She's back and forth. She's watching a little bit. She's crowd management. She's doing it all. Hosting.
Yeah.
It's very fun. And also not responding to booking emails just like me.
Very good. Good.
She learned from the best.
Yeah,
and so he's like, she's not responding. And I go, I got you. Don't worry. Just book the date. You'll be on. And so I was like, fine. Ellen, can you get my guy on? And so I wanted to make sure that he didn't blow it. And he did not.
Good.
He did great.
Oh, good.
He did a really good job.
That's hilarious.
So next one up is Eland.
Oh, yeah. He's coming out. He'll be out there when I'm out there. I'm going to be there as well. So
you're coming out again?
Yeah, I'll be in middle of March 15th, 16th. It's for my wife has a conference, so I'll be out there. We'll be in LA. We'll be hanging out. Baby will be there, so I don't know what my life will look like, but
I will bet you $20 Andrew Jackson.
Yes.
That you and I do not see each other.
It's possible. It's very possible.
I will put $20 on it. Audience, you heard it first. Yeah. Jeff's not going to hang out with me. Just like Kat didn't hang out with me when I was like, Kat, let's hang out. You requested it. Yeah. And then she fucking ghosted me.
Yeah.
So,
well, I know what car I'm getting picked up in, so I'm definitely not calling you. No,
I got the Acura.
We'll figure it out. No, that's great. I'm excited. I'll be around,
And in March, I might have my my new race car.
One. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we can.
If you like cars, which I assume you do.
Yeah.
Jeff, you're going to know all about this, so you can just,
Ford Fusion, SEL, Ford Fusion, yep.
I'm building out a 2005 BMW 3 Series with a 6-liter iron block. And I go, hey, let's just keep it to, like, 500 horsepower. And they're like, okay,
sure, dude.
If you want. Yeah. I mean, we could get you 1,000. And I was like,
let's
keep it to 500 horsepower.
That is growth. For you to be like, let's keep it down. Yeah, you gave yourself a governor. That's good.
And I started a new business for this car. This is totally legal, so I'm going to say it on the podcast because it's 100% legal.
Always a good way
I had to call
my
CPA. I had to call my CPA to confirm this. I'm like, how do I write off this car? Yeah. I'm tired of spending my hard-earned money and not writing it off. Yeah. This is ridiculous. I need to live in a loophole. And he's like, start a new business, put all the money in there, then give it out, then we can write it all off. But you have to show a profit motive. You got to show a plan of action to make money on it. I'm like, car videos, they count.
Deal.
Suck it.
Nothing sounds more illegal than, hey, this is legal, I promise.
I promise
Guys,
this is legal.
I swear to God.
Someone else's name is signed off on
That's
it.
That's great. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So it's been fun. I like having a new car. I like having these new motors. And speaking of new motors, big announcement in the Formula One world. I believe it came out yesterday. Mm-hmm. Let me take a look here. Is that right? February 3rd, yesterday. It's Saturday right now when we're recording this. And Red Bull released their car. And Red Bull is teaming up. It's confirmed. Ford is going to be in Formula One in 2026.
Incredible.
Making the powertrains for Red Bull. That's so incredible because GM, like I was waiting for Cadillac and Andretti to like make their own team. And Ford was like, you know what? Let's just buy this sponsorship and
let's get back in there. Yeah.
Cadillac, suck a dick,
Yeah, get
bitch.
that-
Like, I feel like that's what Ford just did.
Yeah.
Ford's like, make all the noise you want, GM.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
They were like quietly just like annoyed by all the buzz with Andretti and Cadillac, and then finally they're just like, oh, by the way, also at Red Bull's event,
Huge.
in New York, the whole eyes of Formula One are on them that day, and they just go, hey, what's up? We're here.
Right?
We did it.
Huge.
We're back.
And it's like, look, we didn't really change the car much, so we're just gonna announce this other thing so no one really looks at it.
Dude, that is
I keep right. I feel like that's what they did.
every time. I was talking about this with my buddy Miguel. It's it's always a meme.
Wait, Miguel?
Oh, shout out to
Shout
Miguel.
out.
I don't have my list up. Oh, just kidding. I do. Shout out to
Pull
Bernie,
it
Pablo,
up,
Miguel, Ana,
guys.
Emilia, Chris, Johnny, DJ, Martini, Mena, Oscar, Chumpy, Javier, Science, Ana, Ivan, Bruno, Jose, aka Pepe, aka Precioso,
Oh!
and Drew.
Drew.
Also, that
Drew.
hits different in San Diego. I'm just like yelling at people on the street is what it sounds like. It's
You have
the
4
best.
knocks on the door. Housekeeping.
What's up, guys? What's up, boys? What are we doing here? They rule. And so it's my buddy Miguel we were talking about every year. It's like straight up every single time Red Bull comes out with the same
Yeah.
livery. They blow, everyone gets excited. Even like one of I think the engineers on her stories posted like an all white livery that people were like, oh, maybe they're gonna switch it up. Nope. Pump fake. It's the
Yeah.
same one. Like literally,
love
it's
it.
one new. The rocked logo is like the new thing, and that's it. And it's like,
It.
don't break it. Don't fix it if it
ain't broke.
If it ain't broke, that's it.
Right.
It's not your car. It's
Right.
You didn't deserve that.
Hey, look, it's just been fixed.
Yeah.
Break
Yeah,
it.
you
You know,
didn't
that's
deserve
that's the game.
yeah.
Oh, you like driving this? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. You like it too much? Well, here's what you get.
Yeah.
That's how the universe has always treated me. I can't love anything or it takes it away from me.
Yeah.
But I keep seeing these memes on Instagram. It's like, spot the differences, 2022, 2023. I'm like zooming in and shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know, the color of this sponsor is red instead of
Yeah.
blue now.
Yeah.
It's the same car. It's the same car.
Yeah.
But they don't need to do anything because they dominated last year, and good for them.
Yep.
Because I'm proud of them.
You love them.
Uh,
The side pods are different. That's the only thing. Like another thing we were talking about is like the side pods they're a little like thinner and they have a big chunk taken out of the bottom and there's a bit of a swoop to them. But then immediately people notice that and they call it out. And then Horner comes out and says, "Oh yeah, the car that we show up with in testing probably won't look much like the one." And like they never do.
Of course not.
They're always
Why would it?
shells of the car
Yeah.
that is gonna
Yeah.
show up. So pretty interesting, but pretty uneventful.
How do you feel about your favorite manufacturer, the manufacturer of your current car?
Yes.
They're going to have a Fusion Formula One car. I
can't
don't know
wait.
if you knew that.
Dude, I'm excited for the Red Bull powertrain Ford technology to finally filter down to my Ford Fusion. You know what I'm saying? Like when I am
We're going to get some updates.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My cruise control is going to have DRS. I'm pumped.
You got cruise and overtake
Yeah,
now.
it's awesome. Yeah, my dog will love it in the back with just the 4 doors that my car has. So
How do you feel about Ford getting in there? Because again, I was totally surprised. We're gonna go over some history because
Yeah.
this prompted some things for me. I wanted to know like the history of Red Bull powertrains, and I wanted to look into the history of Ford in Formula One.
Yeah.
But before we get there, what was your initial gut reaction when you? Because when I saw it, I mean, I made that reaction video on our Instagram
Yeah.
at Grid Penalty F1.
follow it.
Immediately, I was like,
Yeah.
I was overwhelmed by it. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I was same kind of thing. I didn't know the history of Ford in F1 and how entrenched they've been over the years. That was surprising to me, which we'll talk about. But I just was excited that it was with Red Bull, I think, just because it's so high profile and the team that won, and just it's such a blockbuster deal to see that much of a huge powerhouse come in, especially with Honda in the mix, and just seeing like, I love seeing
Or
this,
slowly getting mixed out.
Yeah, exactly. Like I love seeing these like the politics and the changing of the guard and like the money getting swapped around, and all of that stuff is interesting to me. And it just made for a fun event. It changed the tone of the event that normally would have been an hour of whatever Horner and like fun Ricardo videos because he's finally back on the team, and which also was fun to watch him and Max. Like they're such good friends. He just feels like he's like at home. It's got to be so relaxing. I'm sure $21 million chills you out a little bit, but
it would chill me out for sure. Also, it's like being like the third string quarterback. It's like, I'm never going to play.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll play a little bit, but I ain't getting hit every day, you know?
Yeah, someone might get hurt, and then I'm out for a couple races. Great.
Right.
Awesome.
I'm running scout team is what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm out here. He's just crushing press and just, like, doing the simulator and then traveling. Like, it's got to be a fun, especially after coming off of the career that he's had and all the hectic like lifestyle that he lives as like the top driver in a lot of these teams that he's been on. Now he's the third guy and he just has to just be, I'm just chilling. Like I bet it's such a nice breath of fresh air. So it's fun for him.
It's cool to me because like Cadillac Andretti is trying to be their own team. I don't think they're trying to buy into it, right? So and like when Audi comes in, they're buying into a team as well. Which going through the history of Red Bull, this is very common to like see this kind of move around. And what's fun is that I mean, what a swing for the fences. Ford came in like we want to be the best right away. Yeah. And you know, I was making fun of Ford in a few episodes because GM's coming in, or trying to at least, and GM has the Chevy Corvette Z06, the C8 with the new flat plane crank. Like they're making really cool petrol motors, right? Yeah. And Ford is investing a ton of money in EV technology, which I said so much of their research and development is going into EV technology, which as they're moving to this carbon neutral lie in 2030
farce
because let's believe there's no the only way that I think that they're going to be carbon quote neutral is they're just be like, well, we routed everything better, so
I think it's
now we're net zero.
They donated to a carbon neutral agency that then signs off on them being
100%
completely offset. Totally.
So it to me is really it's cool to see them swinging for the fences like that to go to the very top. But now that they've done this, and I've read some articles on it, Horner even mentioned this as well. Horny Horner is that they
Horner Spice.
They wanted a lot of that EV technology and in this turbo hybrid era that we're in. And I'm surprised I missed this. Yeah. What a great move. You're putting all this research and development into your EV stuff. The motor is already fine. Clearly the motor's fine. Yeah. So now Ford's getting some Honda technology from Honda Racing that Red Bull bought from Honda to make Red Bull powertrains. And Red Bull still has Honda support through the end of 2025. And then Ford's now going to get that information. So now it's almost like an American-made Japanese motor with the innovation of the EV stuff from Ford, which, again, we should probably have some Japanese EVs so batteries don't blow up. But I think that's pretty dope.
That's great.
Like I really think it's going to be a big move for him.
What a complicated relationship that hopefully just keeps paying off. They're already at the top, so.
Dude,
awesome.
And I was thinking, like, as I'm reading this, I was thinking about the red tape that they had to go through to solidify that deal. I can't imagine how much back and forth they're getting. Are we staying with Honda? They want to leave. Who are we going to get? Yeah. Was GM involved with this? Was Cadillac trying to hop in and they got a big hard no? So they went to Andretti. Like, I just would love to have heard that information. Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Red Bull's history a little bit, because it's kind of, it's not convoluted, but it is a lot. Yeah. So detailed. So currently it's Oracle Red Bull Racing, right? And everyone knows about Scuderia Alphatauri, which used to be Toro Rosso. But Red Bull Racing has been managed by Horner since the get-go in 2005, which I did not know that.
Crazy.
Also, Red Bull bought a team. That's how Red Bull got into it. I think they took over for Sauber Racing way back in the day. Wow. So, which I didn't.
Wild to just show up and be like an energy drink and buy that much of, like, buy the team. Just show up like, hey, it's a wild brand to take, like when you really think about an energy drink running the whole team and being the
right.
It's Ferrari versus a sports drink. Like that's crazy,
right? Imagine if Monster tried to do this.
Yeah.
Like everyone would be like, "Nah, man, leave that NASCAR shit at home,
dude." Like imagine like Ferrari and then McLaren and then Mountain Dew Baja Blast is like it'd be insane.
Code Red
It's
team,
wild
the
that
Code
people
Red
just
Racing.
Are like, we just accept that Red Bull is this weird brand that is allowed to do this stuff. It's so crazy.
So they bought, they were a sponsor of Sauber from 95 to 04, and then they bought their own team in 2005, which is kind of where this started up there. And this is back when it was Cosworth and I believe Jaguar Racing is who they kind of bought into,
Nice.
right? So, dude, 2005, they're technically using Ford motors, right? Because in 2005 it was Cosworth Motors. Now we're going to go through Ford's F1 experience too, and as I'm saying this, I probably should have done that first because they started in the 60s. But so Ford got out of Formula One racing after the 2005 season with Red Bull.
Wow.
Cosworth was Jaguar Racing. That was like the motor that they had, and because Ford had bought Jaguar, it was Cosworth Ford, right? And also to all my super nerds out here, like your buddy who knows everything about history.
Shout out, Kevin.
I am sorry if I'm a little bit wrong.
No, it's fine.
I'm trying.
We're doing good. We're figuring it out.
So they were Jaguar and Cosworth in 2005. They had an American driver. I just wanted to mention this. They had an American driver whose name was Scott Speed.
Dude, that's hilarious.
What a fucking name.
That's
dude.
not even it's more generic than Lightning McQueen. Like it couldn't even be in the Cars movie. You got to die. Like they're like Scott Speed. No, two on the nose.
Two on the nose. Yeah.
Two on the nose.
So, it's like what's his name? Something Power. Logan Power.
Willpower.
Willpower. Yeah.
Like,
Willpower is his name. I'm like, these aren't real names.
Yeah.
Like, are these your driver names? Like, people have stage names. This is his Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like a marketing company is like, oh, let's call him Willpower. Yeah. Scott Speed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Jake Brake. You're like, all right.
And Willpower coming from behind. I'm like, that's always what you have to have when you're coming from behind. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Folks.
We're a family. Maybe not for everybody podcast. But so that was 05. 06, they start using Ferrari customer motors. Or engines, excuse me.
Oh, wow.
So 06, they leave Cosworth and Ford because they got out and they go over to Ferrari. Now, this was interesting because they made a note here that Red Bull was still using Michelin tires instead of Bridgestones used by Ferraris. This is back when you could, I guess, choose your tires or your brand, which now everything is totally unified. So they were with Ferrari for a while, did pretty well, could have been better, but not terrible. And then in 2007, so 05 it was Cosworth, 06 it was Ferrari, 07 to 2015 it was Renault.
Oh, Renault, nice.
So like they were with Renault pretty much until it came to Honda. In like 2020, like Honda was only with them for 2 years.
Wow.
So they go to Renault, and they were a customer of Renault from like 2007 to 2010, and then Renault became their main sponsor, them and Infiniti.
Oh, right.
Because it was like Renault, Nissan, Infiniti is their luxury brand.
Yep, and it's the famous Red Bull jack, like the famous old Seb race jackets always have like the Infiniti symbol on it. Shout out to Elon Stribling. He has an awesome vintage Red Bull jacket with the Infiniti logo on it. It looks sick. But yeah, that's a great iconic race suit.
So this is like when Vettel was kind of in his heyday with Red Bull, was when they were with Renault. Daniel Ricciardo joined Renault joined Red Bull in this era, and then went to Renault on his own.
Yep.
And so I believe that's how Verstappen got in there. Again, I could be wrong. There's a lot of information here. That's not important.
Yeah.
What's important is in 2011, from 11 to 15, it was a full works partnership. So Renault was giving Red Bull motors for free, and this is like we are in it together, right? And then from there, Seb Vettel and Mark Webber had great seasons there. Obviously, Seb's a 3-time world champion, maybe four. I forget. 4-time.
4?
I think it's 4.
Anyway, it's definitely 4. Yeah.
We should be better at this.
No, it's definitely 4.
2015 is when Danny Rick. So that's his second season with the team, and then. And 15, this is where it was kind of like a crazy deal. 2015, 2014-ish, there was a falling out with Red Bull and Renault.
Oh, yeah.
And this is when, and it kind of happened, it was Horner who kind of like fucked this up, which is funny because when I read this, it reminded me of Max. And how he's like, I already told you why I'm not letting him pass.
Yeah.
And it really kind of had this like,
headstrong.
You just fucked up the whole team here, like our optics with everyone. So at this point, they're not happy, and Red Bull doesn't want to support Renault Nissan with any marketing, so they rebrand their motor name to Tag Heuer, the watch company.
Brand, yeah, Tag.
The watch brand,
Heuer, yeah.
And so from there, their engines are branded as Tag Heuer because of the
Tag Heuer. Sounds like a car going by. Tag Heuer.
Tag Heuer.
Tag Heuer.
So then they at the end of 2016 or in 2016, they announced that they're going to do a technology partnership with Aston Martin, but they're still using Renault motors from 2016 to 2018, and then it's almost like they pushed Renault to like Toro Rosso, to the smaller one, and then kind of made this deal with Honda because they saw how Honda was doing, and so they switched that up, and that was in let's see here. So in 2018, Aston Martin was the title sponsor for Red Bull.
Yep.
Max Verstappen had some success there, if you will. And then in 2019 is when Works Honda came in. And so Honda came in for they're doing like their full works package. So they're doing all the work for it and all that shit. And so that's also when Ricciardo was going to leave to go to Renault, which also seems like a slap in the face, which I think is why there was a lot of beef there because they hated each other.
Yep.
And then that's why,
that year,
which was interesting.
That Ricciardo left, Renault was then, they were that partnership was breaking, but then also Ricciardo was moving over to Renault, which then we know now the history there. Didn't work out for 2 years.
Yeesh.
Him and Cyril, whatever, and then moving back into the McLaren days, and sad for me.
Sad.
But yeah, but now we're all is good. We're back. We have Honda, we have Ford, we have Ricciardo back at Red Bull. We're back.
So, and then so Honda, I think at the end of 2021 announced that at the end of 2020, they're like, hey, we're done making motors for Formula One. And so Red Bull then bought their technology, and now it's Red Bull powertrains. Yeah. And Honda is like, all right, I think due to their contract, they were going to do still support through the end of the 2025 season, which is still happening. So they didn't have any like motors ready to go for 2026.
Oh, wow.
Because Honda just didn't want to do it.
Like that.
And so that is how this kind of came about with Ford.
Well, and I didn't know this. You mentioned earlier, like the success that Ford had early on in Formula One as well. I didn't realize that back in the 60s, Ford showed up and were just like, here's a motor.
Dominating.
And they crushed. They won 4 Grand Prix in, was it 1967 or 1969? The first year they won 4 Grand Prix in
67.
their debut season. And I had no idea the DFV, is that what it was called?
The DFV, the Ford DFV racing engine is what came out, and that's also what Michael Schumacher's first world championship in '94 was a Ford motor too.
Crazy.
So 67 Ford enters Formula One with Cosworth
Yep.
Like that was their kind of start back then. And then they in '67 in its debut year, they powered Lotus to second in the Constructors' Cup. And they powered Jim Clark to third in the Drivers' Championship.
Crazy.
And then in their 4 races in '67 debut season. And then in '68, Lotus lost the exclusive rights to the DFV engine, and Ford supplied engines to, check this out, to Lotus, McLaren, and Matra.
Dude, stacking up the contracts.
Right, with Jackie Stewart driving for him as well. And then they... Let's see here. That's too sad. I don't want to read that.
Yep.
And then a lot of people die with these. But when you're powering everything, that what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But then that DFV motor is the most winning motor in Formula One history.
Fascinating.
That particular motor has won fucking everything.
Yeah.
And in 1969, Ford won every single race in an 11-race season.
Unbelievable.
Their motor did.
Yeah.
How fucking crazy is this?
That's insane. It's wild to think about the domination that I just didn't know they had. Like the legacy of F1, and like Ford doesn't really call upon that for their marketing. They
At
don't
all.
They have so much heritage in Formula One that they could be using more of, I feel like, but
Right.
obviously now they're back in it and they'll probably be using that more. But such a cool story. Like I didn't know that they had so much history in F1.
It's
cool.
really crazy. And so I love this. In '69, Matra Ford was first in the Constructor Cup, with Barabam Ford, whatever it is, second, Lotus Ford third, and McLaren Ford fourth. First, second, third, and fourth.
Insane.
They I mean, Ford is fucking killing it, dude. And then it just keeps going of them dominating year after year. I mean, like this little timeline here is like 32 entries deep of just how crazy Ford is. Ford's beating Ferrari, they're beating BMW, and you're right. They never. And then in '95, it's when they started to see the decline of Ford engines. And it did power Jos Verstappen around.
Nice.
Which is
The decline.
Yeah. I wonder if, for real, this was the start of the finish.
Yeah.
It was Jos Verstappen. Yeah, in all ways. But, and I mean, it just keeps going and going and going until '05 when they got out of it. But what a fucking...
So cool.
Oh, this is why in 2003, it was the last Ford win. Because in 2002, the Jaguar team was 7th, and they were just starting to get bad and bad and bad. In 2001, there were no wins for Ford Jaguar. They were 8th in Constructor Cup, so they just kind of like kept falling down from there. And I think in 2005, they sold Jaguar to Red Bull, and then that was done.
They were wash their hands,
from there.
move on out.
But you're right. Like, I'm surprised they haven't called on that.
Yeah.
And also, too, I have found such a love for Ford now for just quietly chilling in the background.
Making strong commuter sedans. You know, that's what they...
I was going to say keeping this merger quiet, but that one too.
True. Yeah,
Making escorts and
waiting to make their shot, and then doing it on such a huge stage for the launch of the season. That's great.
It's so cool, man. Yeah. I'm It's weird because now I'm like, all right, well, can we get to 2026 yet?
Yeah, I know.
Can we just not?
Let's go. Yeah.
Can we not wait for this?
Yeah. Blow through these car launches and get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
Do you think that it's really like? Do you think that this early branding and all this stuff is? Because I don't know what the rules are. When can they start developing motors and testing motors? I would assume they could just do it now, whenever they want, and then come 2025, then like when they're going into the season, they might have to be restricted now. But
yeah,
do you know? Like, would they wouldn't they just be able to just start figuring shit out now?
Yeah, I'm sure they are. I guarantee that that research and development is heavy. I just don't know the regulations around it of like if you have this new partnership. I'm sure it just is in line with a lot of the regulations that they previously are beholden to. So
Yeah.
that's it. I bet they have to just work it in and figure out where. I don't know, what that means for Ford's ability to start interjecting their technology immediately. I'm sure they find ways to do it. Whether they're allowed to or not. But
how do you think Ford's going to do first season?
I think. I think it's Red Bull. I think they'll be good. I think it's it'll be fine. I think
Wouldn't you love to see them have a Mercedes type year in 2024-6?
I know you would, for sure.
I would love it if Max leaves when Ford comes in. He goes, "I'm not racing with anyone that powered my dad."
Yeah, that's his shot at his dad. Yeah, so it's good. I'm excited for it. They did the launch was good. I was excited.
It was a cool
launches.
Launch.
We have launches coming up all month long. February is such a fun time because it is the showbiz part that they don't have much to show technology wise other than new sponsors and it's all the production, and I love it. And so it's exciting, and this year it's been interesting as we found out that a lot of the launches are in these incredible places.
Great places. Red Bull was in New York. Alfa Romeo's coming out on the 7th in Zurich. AlphaTauri's, of course, going to be in New York as well.
So cool.
Aston in Silverstone, McLaren at their main tech center.
Yeah.
Ferrari in Maranello, Mercedes Silverstone,
Nice.
Alpine in London.
And then
Alpine in London's an interesting one.
I know, that's interesting. They all have to get on the little channel and take the train over.
Yeah.
They definitely should do it in Paris.
But if you notice, we only mentioned 8 teams there.
Yeah, what are the other two doing?
That's a great question, Jeff.
What's the iconic global location that the other two teams will be launching at?
Well, starting with Haas, who's already released, and then followed by Williams, which is coming out on the 6th.
Yeah.
They've decided that we're going to release in the most prestigious place on the planet, and that is the World Wide Web.
Oh, nice. Zoom. Cool.
Everyone log in. We only have a 500-person account, though, so it's the first 500
so
in get
funny.
to watch.
Yeah, just Alex
It's
Albon
a 40-minute time limit.
You're on mute. Trying to launch a car. You're on mute. You're like, great, sick. That's so funny. It's not even a joke anymore. It's like, Williams, guys. I know.
Why are you here?
I know the budgets are low. I know we used to be this mom and pop, but now we have investment. We have money.
I feel like Williams
somewhere.
is about to get purchased. They're just like, can we stop?
Yeah.
Please, collectively as a team, can we just not do this anymore?
Well,
We're
it's
not
so
good.
funny. That new group came in and bought him up, and then they took a step forward. But this year was tough. But it's stop, just fake it till you make it. Do the showbiz side of it. But who knows what's going on behind the scenes. But I just love that there's two teams that are like, I don't know, we'll just do it online. Who cares? That's fine.
And it's great too because Haas made that announcement that because of MoneyGram they're finally able to even get to the budget cap.
Yeah.
Lord knows what Williams is. I bet you Williams is operating at $78 million. They're half of what you're allowed to spend. They're like, oh, this is pretty good for us.
I don't know, man.
I'd like to get some catering if we could.
Could
Red
we get
Bull?
some chicken wraps this year, please? Could we please get?
It's fine if there's no Caesar dressing, but
fine.
if we could just get the lettuce this
Something,
time, that's not wilted from Red Bull, that would be great. They get the hand-me-downs from AlphaTauri.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, just old Italian food. Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought and I know that we talked about the Haas car, coming out.
Yeah.
I put up a little reaction video on our Instagram at Grid Penalty F1.
Follow us.
And the MoneyGram thing, it's so aggressive.
It's a lot.
It's but also Uricali was also a little too prominent,
Big time.
as well.
I mean,
and so Haas is we don't care about our logo. If you
Yes.
got money, we'll go second. We'll go third.
100%.
We'll put Pirelli above us.
I mean, Haas has proven Rich Energy. They changed it was black and gold with Rich Energy, and that wasn't even a real company. It doesn't seem like so. We've found that Haas will take the paycheck and let the sponsors run the show a little bit, which is
what do you want to do? Change our logo?
Fine.
Sure, that's fine.
Have we vetted if you have any money? No, but let's just change everything for you guys.
We can't afford a graphic designer though, so we're gonna need to use your team, your in-house team if we can.
Yeah.
So.
Perfect.
But we got Williams coming up on February 6th. Alfa Romeo's the 7th. AlphaTauri's the 11th. Aston Martin and McLaren are the 13th.
Sweet.
Ferrari, of course, red, coming
go.
out on Valentine's Day.
Let's go.
It's just going to be Carlos and fucking
Charles.
and Charles just making out shirtless.
Yep.
Jan's gonna love that one.
Hot.
She's like throwing a little Nick DeVries.
Shout out, Jan.
And then Mercedes is coming out on the 15th, and then Alpine is cleaning up the rear on the 16th, which I love that because they better have something good, because McLaren or because Mercedes is gonna come out and show them up, and then Alpha's like, "Hey, we got a car too.
Hi.
We have 2 French drivers that don't like each other.
Bonjour. Yeah.
Bonjour.
Yeah.
Bonjour. No, it's not delivery. It's bonjour. Okay.
It's Alpine.
So
that's good.
we're at it.
We made it.
Yeah,
We're at the
We're
Mazzy.
excited. Yeah, we're at the Mazzy. We're excited for these car launches. I was gonna Mazzy Haas for their terrible design.
It's good.
But we already MoneyGrammed Mazzied them a couple episodes ago.
Yep.
So some news that I didn't know about.
Yes.
Jeff brought this up.
So this is fun. It's very we'll just touch on it quickly, but it's a very it's sensitive.
Because it's gonna get sticky if we don't.
In the way that it's just awareness of the job you have and the reach you have, and just not knowing when the true colors of someone come out in especially tweet form. It's just it sucks. It's also funny in a terrible way. But our boy MBS Mohammed Ben Sulayem, the FIA president, who is very new to the job, and then might
it's
also,
like his second year in.
Yeah, might also be very new to not having this job.
They're gonna conveniently relocate him.
And Michael Massey are going to be
Massey.
just calling rally car next year. I don't know what they're going to do with them.
The driver championship series.
Yeah, they're just out. And so he had a couple of tweets. He's had a few that have just been insanely off, or tone deaf. But the most recent one that was so bad was very sexist, very misogynistic. You guys can find the tweet, but essentially he was like, "I love it when it was the guys. I love women. Women are great. No one's buying it." And it's the tone was, I love when women are just as clever and as intelligent as men. It's great. And everyone was like,
"Oh my god,
oh,
this
no.
is a tweet he said,
It
or is
was
this
a tweet.
he's on? Oh my,
On
so
tw-
it's screenshotable.
It is screenshotable. So yeah, very much everyone was like, "Oh no!" And so another firestorm of people just being like, "Come on, man!" And then on top of that, apparently this week came out that an undisclosed F1 boss has called for that, said he had to go. He's got to go was the quote. So don't know who that is. Maybe that comes out. But the Mazzy this week goes to our boy, FIA president, who potentially might not make it through the season if someone doesn't take away his Twitter privileges.
He might not make it to the start of the season. Him and Donald Trump just need to get fucking... They're both just on Twitter.
I was going to say MBS on just Parler or Truth. He's just over there on a weird Trump social network. Everyone's like, all right, man. He's just out there firing off about the W series. It's all right, dude.
Yeah. Look, the W series. Yeah. I'm surprised they all finished.
It's crazy.
It's great.
Yeah, it's good. It's great. It's all positive. It's great, but it's horrifically misogynist. Oh, it's awesome, dude. You're all right, man. You gotta go, dude.
Look, I like women. Yeah. Him starting it off like that is saying, "Look, I'm not racist."
Or this is not illegal, but
why are you gonna pull me into this, Jeff? Come on.
I love it. Had to do it. So that's it. That was
oh man,
that was a fun
That's our
one.
episode.
So good, and we love you guys. Thanks so much for listening. If you could leave a review, give us 5 stars. Yes. DM us if you have any comments, questions, complaints. You guys are the best. It's so much fun. We love doing this. It's just the best. So thanks, guys.
Check us out on Instagram and YouTube. Grid Penalty F1 on Instagram. Grid Penalty. I think it's F1 Show.
Yeah.
I probably should have known that by now.
Follow us there.
On YouTube. Yeah, and you can watch these full episodes there so you can see how beautiful we look and how much I giggle actually on
and how much I nod. I realize I just nod the whole time. Just head banging.
So thanks everybody for tuning in. Follow our producers, Kat Orlean at KO Recording. Go check out her show, in Monrovia on February 24th. Give our video editor, Jan, a follow on Instagram at PointsInAWilliams. It's a thing that they aspire to. I'm surprised that Williams F1 isn't actually called. They're mad at Jan for taking their. We wanted Points into Williams.
We could have had it.
We could have had
it's
it.
False
Jan.
advertising, but we could have had it.
Give us a follow at Jeffrey Tice, GeoffreyTice. If you're a parent or you like supporting him, he's got a great book, The 11 Evelyns. It's a children's book for his sweet little daughter. Follow me at I Am Brent Gill. Check out my special on YouTube at Live from Philadelphia, which is on my Instagram as well. Be safe, wear your seatbelt, and we'll see you guys next week, y'all.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.